and this is back on physical media and video games, and like the state of it after like basically making an investment from like, let's say over the past 6 months. I don't think it was a year. I don't think it was more than a year. Yo, Evercade games are great video games to collect, and they're going up in price. So any restock of it is a great opportunity to get yourself a cartridge now, but they're going up in price. I'm definitely seeing it happening right now. This is a 1 year turnaround, basically, to 2 year turnaround. The most I'm seeing so far. This is a 1 to 2 year turnaround profit for a game so far, and I mean multiple games is gonna follow suit. Really, like majority of all the games, like will follow suit. Um, yo, I hope y'all stacked up your food for the winter, because when we get into this full digital era, a lot of these games is gonna be expensive. They basically, your average used game is gonna cost you $50, $60 and up. Let me say that one more time. Your average used video game, when it comes to like the main titles, a lot of people are gonna go after, are gonna cost $50 to $60 and up. Special titles in the hundreds to thousands. Yo, one thing I already started collecting in less than 1 year, it's already like warning signs coming about it on a good behalf. Why did I buy those games? Once again, one of them, Jaleco, got Avenging Spirit, the first cartridge or CD, but it ain't on CD. So the first official publishing print of a physical copy of it is the Evercade cartridge, if I'm to be correct. There's certain games on Evercade that I think is the first physical publishing of it. Excuse for the pause for a second, but like, because I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff within myself as well as what I'm speaking about here. Yo, I hope for people who are interested in physical media, you started to do that now. People could really think you're crazy, as old crazy as they want to think you are. It is a media library. It's data, and you get it for very cheap. This past 4 or 5 days, a lot of the major retailers had a very good sale. Very, 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 very good sale right now. For some of the games, I think they were getting rid of like the bad printings of it, basically. So they're missing data that needed updates. There was issues with those certain games, so they just started to get rid of them. But the prices are insane. The prices are definitely really good prices. So, it's a lot of $15 investments out there right now that are going to turn around into the hundreds. There's maybe like $30, $15 investments that's going to turn into a $100 bill. Easy. A ton of them right now. Ton of them. And for one of them, I actually, for the past 2 days or whatever, didn't buy it yet. Actually, because I got so many copies of it, but I'm thinking about getting another 2. Because it's a great price. It's a great price. So, when it comes to movie physical media, for me, how I would go about it, my one hint of what I would collect is whatever's already expensive as a VHS. Any VHSs that are expensive, I would try to get that. I would try to get that DVD ASAP because those DVDs are gonna follow suit. That's the same way how I collect video games. So, Evercade came out with a Sunsoft collection with Blaster Master Boy, which is like a over $50 game, and Mr. Gimmick, which is over a $500 game, on one cartridge together, $20. Yo, I'm still going forward with this until it stops. To keep it a buck with you, and my best suggestion to anybody collecting retro is to collect the 2D games. Collect those 2D games. For the 3D games, they have to be like really fantastic, a really, really good game. But yo, a lot of these 2D games is gonna cost bread later, cause your average person don't buy it. Yeah, it's straight up like that. Your average person does not buy 2D games like that. So, yo, when they're gone, they're gonna be gone. The price, the community is gonna change on that price, and that is what is gonna be with the biz. Like, so okay, it was this one guy I was watching a while back recently, and I took it very interesting how he was valuing games, physical copy of games, and then I noticed a second person did the same thing so far. They're valuing the game based off of how much you're going to pay for that download. Which is $50-$60. And then the physical copy, you don't got to pay for it. You don't got to, if you ever lose the account, whatever happens, ever, you always got that game. So a lot of video games, y'all, are going to go back to the $50-$60 mark. They've already had this, been going on beyond 20 years already now. Beyond 20 years now. It's already happened. That games went back to the retail value, and they were above the retail value for beyond 20 years already, if I'm right to say. So it's coming. It's coming. And for a lot of those people who y'all could think is whatever you have of a negative opinion about the type of things they invest into, those people are going to have a great turnaround in value of those things that they put their time into, and then can transition into something else. When for others, the only thing they're going to be able to transition to is in the value of a house. A value of a house, you have to still deal with upkeep. A value of a house, you still have to deal with upkeep. Yep. I hope the foundation is 50 years plus in condition. You have to deal with upkeep. Upkeep from the roof of the building to the bottom of the house. The building, top of the house, top of the bottom of the house. So there will be a lot of objects in this. Yo, bro, it's already happened right now. There are small, tiny objects that are worth just about the same value of buying a brand new house, and better, and more. Yo, the OGs have been doing this for maybe almost 30, 40 years. I just never knew, because you got to be middle class, upper middle class to know about sales. And then that's how you buy your gifts and your nice things to share and give around to people and whatnot. You have to know about, that's the funniest thing ever. So like, yeah, if we'd have made this investment 3 years ago, I mean, not 3 years ago, like a good 25 years ago, even more to say, it would have been an even crazier scenario. And what I find interesting is for the few people I exposed to this, they still don't get it. They still, to right now, don't get it. All they're going to get is the end results. And I don't know, and to be honest with you, those end results, I don't know how I'm going to show. I'm going to show it in increments, to be honest, than to show it in one whole big whammy. It's better just to have it in increments, bro. Yo, physical media is gonna go way up in price, y'all. And your average consumer will not be able to really buy it. For the ones that would like to obtain it in this coming future, they will have 20 things, maybe, if they're lucky to have. They'll have like 20 objects that'll be their considered holy grails or whatever it may be to be. That's what's going to be in the future for a lot of people who don't keep up with the Joneses of the future. They'll exactly like what I'm saying. They're gonna have like 10 things, and they could be whack objects on top of that. But because it's in the pool of having something physical, they'll try to have that in their wall of like looking cool, like trying to look cool. I'm telling y'all that this cartridge has been sitting around for 15 years right now, bro. And I got it in my hand because of studying. It's a cool game. It's a really cool game because I can't honestly obtain it for the Nintendo. So I'm very happy I had that possession. And I could play on GameCube or play on it's a good piece of physical media. And I'm very appreciative and blessed to be alive to have learnt of these things and take my risk and investing into it as well. Which I don't really look at it as especially after like the past year. I mean, a whole year ago. I definitely don't look at that like a risk anymore. Like, at least 3 to 4 times, maybe 5 times of the things I was able to pick up over these past 3 years is not a risk. I'm up. I'm up in value with objects. So 1 year, 2 year turnarounds. Hell yeah. Oh, yo. I think I'm about to at least spend 5 to at least 1K on that. Let me just do the math on that. Let me give y'all like just FK alone. It's real, bro. Let's do the math. 1, boom, boom, boom. Like 21. Let's say $21. Might be 21.40 or some shit, but let's just. Okay, how many units is that? So you have 47 units if you spend 1K. You'll make back around 2,800 if it's just 60 bucks is the lowest number. Let's go to what I really think the number would be. Let's just say $1. For every 1K, you can make around $3,000 extra. You can make $4 grand, $4,700 before taxes for every 1K in the 2 year turnaround. So now, let me take that. Let me take that one now. 4,700 times 5K, let's say. But really, let's just say $5,000. $5,000 I can make around in the next coming years 23K off of every 5. Really, let's say that because that's before taxes. So let's say 22K. Let's just say maybe 22K every 5 grand. So I mean you'd be making 15K, and this is after taxes and everything. You make around 15, 17K every 5 grand. 15 to 17K every 5 grand you put in. 1 to 2 year turnaround. That it goes down, that it turns into the value to be that, and then just post it and chill. Just collect, pay taxes, and get your cash. And it's never, and the object is physically in your hands. The objects are physically in your hands. And let's just say it don't go up to those numbers. Yo, it's going up to $60, y'all. I could definitely say that. I'm happy one of my friends suggested to me to buy a copy of, what was that game? Blasphemous. I wish I would have got at least one Switch copy. I'm happy I got 2 copies of those. Those is going up in price. That's turning around already. That's already receiving the turnaround. So, yeah, there's certain games I bought over these 2 years. Yeah, it's turning around already in value. Evercade is not staying around for more than 2 years per published game that they're putting out. It's getting sold out maybe in a year and a half. There's one game right now that they just republished a bunch of, they just restocked a bunch of games, and when I went through the whole list, one game is not in that restock, and that game is being sold for like 2 and change used right now. The Technos Part 1 is being sold for like 2 and change right now. I regret not buying at least one cartridge. There's a couple other ones that's already in the 100 and change range. People are charging. But it makes sense. It's a whole compilation of a bunch of homebrew games that you will be paying like $50-$60 each for. And it's on one cartridge. Each game on the cartridge is at least worth $20. Especially if it's like the ones that got like the most expensive game. When it comes to like, there's certain ones that got compilations just for like Atari and television, and it got like the most expensive game on that cartridge, which is like a $200 game. Like almost every Evercade cartridge got at least one game on it that's a $200 cartridge. I bought like 5 copies of Interplay. Incantation, crazy, bro. $222 for that cartridge, and that's on the Interplay Volume 1 compilation right now for $20. Incantation is a $222 cartridge, so that cartridge alone is at least worth $150. That's the lowest I would put that at, because of even the other games on top of it that's on it. Let's at least give those at least $10 a piece, or whatever. So that new Interplay Volume 1, I think it is. That's a $150 and better cartridge. I bought 2 copies of Part 2, I think, or 1 copy of Part 2, because I like that it had Earth 1 Gen 1 and 2 on it. So I bought a copy each. I like those games. I wish they would have put the Sega CD version on the first one. That would have been cool. I wish they would have put the best versions of them on both of them. For the Earth 1 gens, that would have been a cool. That would have raised the value, to be honest, of it, to my opinion. If they would have put the CD versions of it, but yo, I can't wait for some of the next games to be coming out. I will be buying copies of those, and it's the same thing. Basically, I'm just buying like brand new games. I'm not even really buying used games like that. Here and there, maybe I'll buy a used game, if it's worth it. But or like when I buy used games, like I would say for retro, yeah, I'll still buy that if it's a good deal. But majority of what I'm buying right now is brand new. Predominantly everything I'm buying right now is really brand new. I wish I could have had this mentality 15 to 20 years ago. I would have been dealing with other businesses. Because then I know how to do five-year turnarounds. Really 2-year turnarounds too. I could do 2 and 5-year turnarounds. Dude, I could do, when it comes to the retro objects I've been getting my hands on, that's immediate turnaround if I wanted to do that. That would be immediate. I could do that immediately, but it's not easy to obtain though, so I don't. Society moves in a funny way, y'all. Yo, the future, dude. I might mess with a convention, like conventions in the future, to sell at them in hopes to find serious buyers. But um, yo, for the people who hopefully are doing the same thing I'm doing, they're very smart. And for the rest that wherever their brain is at, you know. Okay, here's another thing, and I like this. I forget the name. I don't know if the dude is RGT. Is he said an interesting comment about like video games, and let's say watching TV and watching this considered a form of a poor man's time. Every era is a little bit more poorer in a way. Every new era, I mean to say. If the new era is gonna have less, that's more poor. So then a value comes from that poor. One time, 40 over these 40 years, video games is considered a poor man's object, like entertainment or whatever. Because I guess to say middle class up, you could physically do real things instead of seeing something right on the screen. Oh, look, oh, doing all this stuff, but really you're not. So look at 30 years later, and them games is like half a M to a whole M. That's not a poor man's object anymore. That is far from a poor man's object right now. 1M to half a M for video games. For a video game. That changed the whole game right there. Because there's tons of people who have to work years. Even if you're making 100,000 a year, you have to work 5 years. You want to make a M in how much money you made or whatever? That's 10 years. You hear what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I know there's people who've been working for the past 15 years plus at least. And what I'm saying right now is like 7, 8 years ago, they could have made these investments for very cheap. And the same amount of money they would make in a year of working, with how much they're making right now today, they would have made buying some of those objects. I would tell you like 90-something% of the people around me, nobody's on ship with what I'm doing. And I wouldn't be shocked. It's the same thing for most, when you see most people on the internet and whatever is the type of craft and thing they're into, 90-something% of the people around them ain't truly in tune with that. That's the real world. That's the real world, y'all. If it turns around, if my turnaround is like really dramatic and people wanted to be a part of it, it's kind of too late because you needed to start this at least. Let's say like right now. Right now, you got to bombard on like almost a other everyday basis to keep purchasing a lot of these objects I'm talking about. Because you need to get up to around 150, 200 pieces. And most of these websites only sell you at one at a time. So that means you're going to have to keep making different pages to buy again. And you also got to wait for when they're giving that kind of a deal. Yo, it's real. It takes time. I think it's worth it. Like I said, there's something on sale right now for $15 that is going to be like a $500 to $1,000 game later. That I'm talking on this YouTube right now. Instead of buying those 2 extra pieces, which I'll probably do it in a second. $30. That's a steal for 2 pieces. $30 for at least $1,000 to $2,000. If it goes right, I already have 20 racks of one, 17 racks of another. Another maybe 15 or let's say 17 racks of another. And just keep stacking them up. Keep stacking up things that's worth 1,000, 8,000, 10,000, 17,000. Just keep stacking them shits up. Just keep put them shits away, cause they yo. It's one game I noticed that it went down in price, but I would expect it to at least go down to 20, and it still didn't go down. So I got at least bought like another 2 copies. It's another game, bro. This is one game I'm noticing out of a lot of them. For some weird reason, they don't want to go down in price. But yo, there's so many good games, y'all. Yo, it is so many good fucking physical media out right now. I This is the best Nintendo era so far right now. This is the best Nintendo era so far right now. I can't keep saying I can't. It's the best ever for Nintendo, for PS4, for PlayStation, and Nintendo. And I feel like the kind of games they've been coming out for the past 3 or 4 years, and now look, it's the best ever so far. I feel like so many of these games that came out for both consoles will have 20 years, if not more, of an impact. Like it's anything you want, any category of games you want to play is out on both of those consoles. Steam is the #1 console to me. They're the main system of all of them that's released that majority of developers are releasing games on. So everything is coming out for them. But aside from Steam, yeah, those 2 systems got a lot of good stuff. Really a lot of good stuff, y'all. Something I never checked that I wish I would have checked. Oh man. Yeah, I wish to check that. Matter of fact, what I'm about to bring up. Anybody, like anybody, if you're collecting physical media, yeah, you gotta test those cartridges. I didn't really test none of the used cartridges I got.
And there was like some, yeah, there was some information that came out that I hope I'm not screwed. Like a lot of my cartridges could have been swapped cartridges. Like, oh man. So that would be a big headache if that would happening to me. But aside from that, yeah, anybody working low level jobs, you could have your first 50K through getting 50 to 100 of the right games. You can have your first 100K from buying the right 50 to 100 games. I'm gonna even give y'all this example for my behalf. For most games I got to, I got them for around the cheapest price you could get them for. I really, really do mean the cheapest price you could get them for. So for some, let's say odd, I don't think I'm nowhere in a loss. Like on one of the pages where I be listing like a category of like get a bunch of stuff I got for games or whatever. It dropped down in value $400. I don't have it's not all complete of everything I got. It's just like a fraction of it. It dropped down like $400, but still not moving on that. Nope. No siree, Bobby. No, 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 no. So I'm chilling. I just gotta keep healthy, and that's about it. I'm chilling. If my if my luck works, half to a whole M. Later in life, for certain things I've invested into, half to a whole. Did it all on my own. No, YouTube helped me. YouTube, um, the internet. Because aside from just YouTube, I will go back and forth onto search engines, and then I'll read. Um, I respect developers, and that's another way I say how I invest. I respect developers, y'all. So it's let's say it could be like 4 or 5 things or more that plays into how I buy something. One of the best hints I would say is to look at what is the most expensive games that came out for a system throughout the generations of the systems. And yeah, if they ever do a reprint of it, buy it. Any next time they put that out, you buy it. It's not gonna happen forever, y'all. They're not really saying it, but I feel like what's going on right now is like just the anniversary thing.
And after that, that's it. To like the next 20 years, maybe or longer. Like right now, what's going on right now over these past couple of years? This is just like some anniversary thing. And maybe we could get some more cool stuff out of it. But I think it's gonna come to a stop after. Like for the stuff I consider is like really amazing. What's here right now? I don't think it's gonna be around. I don't know, but I don't. Will we'll see. But what I will definitely say is that all the consoles are pushing digital consoles. All consoles are pushing digital. That's the biggest thing. All consoles are pushing digital now. I said already before, yes, in the future I will get on digital. I will gladly get on digital and play. It's a lot of things I like that I see. Would I like to have them physically? Definitely. They might come out physically in the future through special. It could be companies that'll specially print them, and if they do, then you get them. Because there'll be certain games that'll come out in the future that could still process on other older consoles, and then like limited run, and other people could publish them. So I have that. I have that highly assumption. 15 years later, we'll still get physical games, but it will come way different than right now. Like you might have to pre-order, and if you don't pre-order, you don't get it. That's it. Because it's already happening right now. Say that again. If you don't pre-order, when it comes to like 10 years, 15 years from now, you just don't get the game. Ever. Unless you get it from a person who bought an extra copy or whatever, and now they want to sell it for some astronomical price. You're not getting it. So, in the future, if it don't matter what their listed is, they say $60, $35, $100. That's how much the games cost there at that time for a physical game. And don't think that people are gonna pre-order and then they're just gonna want to get rid of it for $60. Unless they're your friend and you could trick them into that or some shit like that. But printings are gonna get smaller and smaller. How much they're coming out for physical? It's already happening with comic books too. And there is going to be a niche for it. There are going to be a lot of people who want this kind of stuff. In the thousands. And it's going to grow. It's going to grow into the thousands to millions. It's already millions of people who play games. It's already millions of people who already do it. So just like take advantage of the opportunities that's around you. Be humble. And it's really not much to it. It takes time. It takes time to develop the eyes. And then just keep doing it. But this went on sale for $20. Predominantly, all the games on it was only in Japan. It's 6 games. It's 6 games in one. It's a I don't know if it's 4 players on the PS4, but it's 2 players on this one.
I bought this like maybe a minute too soon, and then it went down like maybe $4 more. But I'll take my this packaging is like could have been better, but whatever. Um, Frogun for the PS5. I don't even got a PS5, but oh yeah, and it's a limited run game actually. It's a it's a limited run game actually. Yeah. Damn, 1 GB minimum download, but Frogun, like how would I describe the Frogun? PS1 graphics. So like, go after things that your average person's not going after. Is a definite giveaway. Then a Double Dragon Gaiden is $20 right now. I bought one copy of that. And Sakuna, Rice Room, which I've been wanting to get a copy of that. It was $20. I bought a copy of both of those, at least one each. I would say things like that for myself. I would say. The Double Dragon Advance collection or whatever that's gonna come out, I would like to buy a copy of that. It got Double Dragon Advance on it. There's a lot of discs out there, y'all, that's still under $10 right now, even for used games that got like $100 game on it, and I will go after those games. That's the disc I will go after. Any disc that it's like something doing with it, there should be like $100 better game, and you could buy for under $10. You should try to obtain that. You should definitely try to obtain that. So I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I don't even play none of this stuff, bro. I tell you all the time. Both of these, it's funny because both of these is Tango Project too. I got Wild Guns, this, and this. All three of these titles, everyone, it's funny, for my opinion, but to say like, I'm telling you, every one of these games are gonna not be cheap later. They're not gonna be cheap later, y'all. Even if you got a beat up copy, like this is torn, and it got the issue thing with that Prince be having in that little. This is still ain't gonna be cheap. It still ain't gonna be cheap. I'm 1,000,000,000% appreciative to have learned that now than never. I think it started with watching what was it, speed runs. I'm trying to think what was kind of like what just something about I don't know why I started to really kind of fully don't get into this to think really back right now 3-4 years ago. I don't know why I got into this. Well, one reason I could tell you why I got into it, I think it was the speed runs, to be honest. Reflecting back, I think it was speed runs, and then I started maybe seeing videos about people doing garage sales, maybe, and then I probably was just watching a lot of it. That I don't have garages where I'm at, but I tried it in the metropolitan area, and here and there it kind of worked a little bit. So I kept trying it, and then I kept trying it, and I started finding some cool stuff. And I started learning some new stuff. And then through learning of the new stuff, I just I kept studying now. So it went from seeing people just showing objects and finding stuff to eventually I tried to venture to like the hidden gems categories. And then looking through the catalogs. And when I looked through the catalogs, I don't know how, but I started through like hundreds of games. I could stop it and I wouldn't even know what the game is, look it up, and it'll be expensive. And I'm just like, but I get it. All these other games look like something not to stop, and this looks like something to stop on. So I started to develop that. And sometimes when I would stop and like, oh no, this looks really cool, and look up and it was still cheap, I buy it. That's how I really started collecting. I looked at things that was like, no, this is a good object for $6 or $5 for 10. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. The Evercade I was talking about earlier, that's for a community in their 40s plus. So that's not even a community of millions of people. That's a way smaller pocket number. And I was buying them from a year ago, and I'm right. And I was right. The the IRM first print, I mean, for collection or whatever. I personally, I always loved this game called In the Hunt, and it's on it, so I got one. That's something like, and I don't even got more than one of that. So I got me one at least. I really like that game. Every print of In the Hunt is over a $60 and better game. So okay, here's another thing I'm assuming too. People who got maybe systems like with all those games on it, maybe to say, from like, let's say they downloaded it off of the marketplace or whatever, they might be able to sell those systems for some money. I think that might be possible. But I never did that, to be honest. I got a lot of things I would like to keep for myself, and I got a lot of things in preparation to make money from. It's definitely not in the stores no more, y'all. I don't know why I thought about that yesterday, y'all. That from maybe more than 7 years ago and more, that it's not about the stores anymore, y'all. It's the internet now. It's been the internet, I mean, like from 7 years ago and longer, about business, period. And the longer people take to lock into that, the more you're just gonna be out the loop of how to grow in it. You're gonna pay more and more to grow in it. Pray. Pray for good health. To stay positive in mind. It's funny when to be honest with you, if there was any game I would say I did play growing up, I rented this actually, the original Super Nintendo version of this. I actually probably more than probably 2 3 times. I would definitely tell you 100% yes. It was like 2 3 times. Yo, when I was a kid, I remember playing that. I rented it from the store, and like that would have been cool to have that. But anybody can do this. It's just when you start. Yo, it was nothing. This is nothing about luck either. Me keep showing these two games. This has nothing to do with luck, y'all. This is hours of studying. That's it. And then, okay, an artist. They don't do something every year. So anytime something special happens, that is a special opportunity maybe to be among something to gain grace of obtaining something that could be of value, such as this. So each pick their poison. That's another way to say it, but like I don't consider this a form of poison. It's freaking plastic. I just love the art. I'll be honest with you. And the bigger the TV, the better. It's exciting to even think about it, but yo, yeah. Ooh, look at all this art. Yeah, the art. The art is I was gonna curse, but it's really good. It's really good, y'all. Old school art in video games and modern era is really, really good. Have a good day, y'all.